Hey there, Casey Page here. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to set up iTracker360 with the Thrive Leads WordPress plugin. So this is a client who purchased the setup package, and they're using Thrive to capture form data. So if you click on this link, this is a Thrive web form. If you inspect the form, they're using the Infusionsoft API connection that Thrive provides, and I know that because if you look at this action equals, it shows a little pound symbol. So I know that they're using the Infusionsoft API connection. Now, unfortunately, if you're going to use Thrive, you cannot use their API connection if you want to capture extra custom fields for, let's say, tracking data. And that's just a limitation to the Thrive plugin. If it were possible, I would go another route, but this is what you have to do if you want to use Thrive and iTracker360. You have to use the custom HTML form method, and so we're going to go through that. We're going to basically convert this existing form that's using the API connection to use a custom HTML form. So I'm going to pull up the Thrive web form. So if you go to, that happened to be a Thrive Lightbox, and I know that it's this form right here. So I'm going to click on this guy, and then I'm going to edit this with the Thrive Content Builder. And so this was the same form that we were just looking at. So if I click on the link and you do connect with service, currently this form is connected to Infusionsoft, and it's also connected to MailPoet. Now, since we're going to switch this to an HTML form, we're not going to be able to use these API connections, so I'm going to have to remove both of these. But before I do that, what I want to do is grab the redirect URL where they're sending this person to. And so what I need to do is create a form inside Infusionsoft that a person's going to submit, which will basically be this same form. And so this form only has name and email, so that's what I'm going to create inside Infusionsoft, is a form with name and email. And so what I've done for this client is inside the campaigns I have a Thrive opt-in forms. Now they have several opt-in forms, and so I'm just putting all the opt-in forms in this campaign. So I'm going to create a new one called what was that called? PEMF Expert Training. So I'm going to create this, and just to save time, I'm going to actually copy a form that was previously set up. So I'm going to use this where it has first name and email, but what it also has is all the tracking fields that you have to add for iTracker. So these are just hidden fields that you would add. And if you don't have that, then what you have to do, so I'll just remove GA source. What you have to do is drag, these hidden fields and add GA source and so forth. So there's 7 fields you'll add: source, medium term, campaign content, refer URL, and IP address. So this is the form that a user will submit. So I made email required and first name is not required. It's up to you what you want to do. And what I want to also do is set the redirect URL. So I'm going to redirect to a thank you page, or I'm sorry, to a web address. It's going to go here, and we're pretty much ready. So I'm going to grab the HTML unstyled code. So I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to put this in Notepad because there's some stuff that I want to strip out. So first off, I want to strip out the tracking snippet from Infusionsoft, and I also want to strip out these hidden fields that we added for iTracker. We don't need those. All we need is this form code right here. So I'm going to cut that, and while I'm in here, I'm going to go ahead and publish this. Well, since this client also had some tags being applied, I'm going to go ahead and apply these tags. So once this form is submitted, there should be some tags, and to know which tags are applied, I'll just go into this Infusionsoft connection, and it looks like there was the PMF expert download tag. So let's do that. So when this form is filled out, they're going to get the PMF expert training tag. And I'm going to mark that as ready. And then I'm also going to send an HTTP post to the iTracker server. So that's going to be sent here. And if you look at that, all it is a HTTP post that I'm sending, and you can get that from the setup guide. This is also in the quick start videos and whatnot. So I'm just going to include this HTTP post. So I'm going to go ahead and publish this form. So that's all ready to go. I created a form for this client. We're applying a tag, and then we're sending the HTTP post. So we're good to go in Infusionsoft. There's nothing else to do in there except, come back and test. So for this expert training guide, I'm going to hit connect with service, and I'm going to remove Infusionsoft. I'm going to remove MailPoet. Create the new connection, which is now going to be an HTML form code. And I'm going to paste the HTML that I looked at earlier. So I'm going to generate the fields from this code. And name is going to be first name, email is going to be email. I'm going to do validation against the email, and I'm going to require both fields. So I'm going to save this. And so this form is ready to go. I'm going to save the changes to this guy. Now we need to test this form. So this is the URL, and just to do a thorough test, I'm gonna clear my cookies for this website, for this entire site. Now I'm logged into iTracker here, so I'm going to create a new testing URL. So iTracker360 testing, and then I'm going to do expert training guide. I'm going to build a URL. I'm going to copy this URL. And so now I'm at the page that with tracking data. So this tracking data is stored in a cookie. If I clicked on get a free guide and I inspect the form, what I expect to see is the form action is now posting to Infusionsoft, instead of just the hash symbol. And then you'll see the iTracker hidden fields added. And what I'm going to do is just put in Thrive6 and then Thrive6@testing.com and subscribe. So this hits the Infusionsoft form, and it redirects me to the redirect URL that is set up inside Infusionsoft, and then we can run whatever automations we want off that. And let's look up that contact record. So I'm just going to paste the email address here. Here's the Thrive6 person. So we have the lead source set to iTracker360 testing expert training guide, and we also have all the custom fields here. And then in a little bit, the optional address field will be populated. It's not populated yet because the send iTracker HTTP post is an active sequence. It hasn't ran just yet. It's an upcoming item. And if I refresh this over time, the post will run. It just depends on when Infusionsoft runs it. But if we wait a little while, the optional address will get posted. And I'm just going to pause the video just so you can see that it gets set. Okay, that was roughly maybe a minute later or so. But so the optional address field did in fact get set. So everything happened like it should with iTracker. All the tracking data is here, the lead source is here, the optional address fields. So in summary, what you need to do with a Thrive form is not use the Infusionsoft API connection, but rather use the custom HTML form. Make sure you have all your tracking fields added to the form, and you can strip out those fields when you add the HTML code in here. And really that's it. I mean, it's pretty simple.